This is Desiree, and today I thought I would swatch a few pinks. Some of them are pretty subtle, so I'm going to start with those, and they get brighter and brighter and more vivid as I go through. So I ordered this particular ink because I loved this one. It's very subtle and beautiful. Without realizing how close it was to the Robert Oster cherry blossom. This is the Sailor Shikiyori Yosakura. And anyway, after I ordered it, I realized that they're really close. Although I do prefer this one just a little bit more. So anyway, I have two that are really similar. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of writing and the swatches on both the Clairefontaine and the Tombowie river paper. So I will have a little bit of tea. This continues to be my favorite Earl Grey. It's by Smith Brothers Tea Makers, and it's called Lord Bergamot. So anyway, join me with some tea and we'll start looking at some of these inks. The first one I'm going to swatch is called Brunch Date, and it is by Colorverse. It's really kind of a pale orangey pink, but I thought I would include it here. So I'm going to be doing most of the writing with my glass dip pen, although I have one ink inked up in my TWSBI. But this is Brunch Date. And I'm going to start with that one. So this is a Colorverse. Brunch Date. All right, so that is in my Clairefontaine, and then I'm going to scoot that over and switch to the Tombowie river paper. So this is Colorverse, Brunch Date. Again, it's kind of an orangey, I don't know, it's kind of sandstone pink or something. I'm going to continue that in the next the next swatch. Here is the swatch. You can see that kind of orangey pink in the swatch a little bit more. I needed to put a little bit more down. So that's Clairefontaine, and this is Tombowie river paper. Okay, ink number 1. So ink number 2 is, like I mentioned, it's the Sailor Shikiyori, and it is Yosakura. I got a sample of this one and I loved the color and I love how it looks when it's dry. But then, like I said, it's like so similar to the Robert Oster cherry blossom, which I also really like. So that was kind of silly, but I actually I like this one even just a little bit more. So anyway, here we go. So this is Sailor. Very subtle. Shikiyori Yosakura. Hope I remembered that right. And it is just really pretty. I like these kind of subtle, I don't know, grayish shades for some reason. All right, so that is Clairefontaine. Scoot that over a little bit. On the Tombowie river paper. When I do these swatches with the glass dip pen, of course, it's not the same as if I am testing it out in different pens. But it works really well to use that for all of the samples. So, yeah, so that is Sailor. And here is the swatch. Interesting to see a little bit of, difference between the Clairefontaine, which is pure white, and this Tombowie river paper, which is a cream. So there's that one, and coming up next I will show you a comparison with the Robert Oster. All right, so we'll look at this one now. Robert Oster, Cherry Blossom. Okay, it turned out nice and sunny today, but it's pretty chilly around here, so all right. Yeah, you can see those are very similar. I'm always moving this around to find that sweet spot on the pen here on the glass dip. I think I needed a little bit more ink. All right, so, oops. Okay, and this is on Tombowie River, Robert Oster, Cherry Blossom. I think the Robert Oster has a little bit more of a plum color hue, just a little bit. Got quite a bit. I can see it more as I'm putting the big swatch down. So I think that the Sailor is just has a little bit more of a bluish lavender hue. These are not dry, but not sure if you can see those. A little bit more lavender, I think. And then I'm not sure. I think that's why I just really like the writing, the way, the color in the written word. So yeah, they're both really, really pretty. So the next one I actually have inked up in my TWSBI Eco, and I'm not going to be able to do a full swatch because I was playing around with it yesterday in the little sample bottle. This is a Diamine ink vent, by the way, pink ice. And I realized somehow I contaminated the whole sample bottle. It's really orangey, and this is not orangey. It's a very pretty salmon pink. So I'm going to do the writing piece of this, but we're not going to be able to do the really big swatch with a paintbrush. So this is Diamine Ink Vent, and it was pink ice, and it is a shimmer. And I hope I have that mixed up enough there. So this is a fine nib. And of course the shimmers you can see better in the mediums and broads, but pretty dry ink. Alright, so that one is Clairefontaine. This is Tombowie River paper.
And it is a shimmer. Oops.
Maybe you can see that a little bit there. It looks pretty shimmery in the sun there, so I hope you can see that, since I'm not going to be doing the big swatch with the paintbrush. Alright, so that is Diamine Ink Vent Pink Ice. The next one is Diatrimentous Apple Blossom sample from Goulet pens, and it's a really pretty ink. Also, it's similar to the Cherry Blossom. This is a scented ink, but it's not. I thought it would be scented with the fragrance of apples, and it's not. It's kind of a, I don't know. It doesn't smell like apples to me. It's kind of a perfumey sort of flowery fragrance or something. It's Diatrimentous Apple Blossom. This is really pretty too. I'm tempted to order a bottle of this one also. So tempting, all of these wonderful inks. But yeah, it's a little bit more of a fuchsia than the Cherry Blossom. Okay. All right. Oh gosh, sorry. It's Apple Blossom, not Cherry Blossom. I have cherry blossoms on my mind. Boy, those are all really close. The Cherry Blossom ones, the Yosakura, and Robert Oster, and this one. This is a little bit darker, which apple blossoms are a little darker than cherry blossoms. But it's really lovely also. Okay, so that is Diatrimentous Apple Blossom. So the next one is, this is a really old one. The label is so faded. But this is a Pilot Iroshizuku Tsutsuji. And it is a pretty brilliant pink, as many of you know already. I did do a little bit of a swatch with Sailor Yosakura just to compare with that Apple Blossom so that you can see. So anyway, this one is the Pilot, oops, writing all kinds of weird things. Pilot Iroshizuku. This one is the Tsutsuji. I think that's azalea. And very brilliant, I mean almost iridescent pink. Yeah. All right. And here it is on Tombowie. Pilot. Shizuku Tsutsuji. Again, just a really almost fluorescent pink. Okay. Ooh, wow. Boy, I always forget just how bright that color is until I use it again. Wow. Yeah. Brilliant. Okay. It's always so interesting to me. I say it every time, but the difference in the colors, and how they vary from the papers. And in this case, I think the Tombowie river paper lends itself to the brilliance, the almost iridescence of this ink more. Even though some of the others are, I would say, more subtle on the Tombowie. So anyway, kind of interesting. All right, this is the Diamine Ink Vent Party Time, and it is a shimmer. It is a really pretty purpley shimmer. So this is a Diamine Ink Vent, and it is Party Time. Okay. All right. Tombowie river paper. This is the Diamine Ink Vent. Party Time. It's a pretty color. Okay. Swatch on Clairefontaine. Ooh, pretty. Okay, the last one that I have for today is Noodler's Cactus Fruit. And it's also a really pretty bright one. And this came from my friend Doug. A little sample swatch and swap, I should say, and I like it. It's a little more purpley. Noodler's Cactus Fruit. Yeah. Very juicy ink. Okay. On Tombowie river paper. I got that pretty wet. Okay. So there's cactus fruit. And here is the swatch. A little bit, I don't know, it's hard to define how it's different from the party time. They're, again, really similar. A little darker maybe, I mean when I'm looking at the writing, but very similar. Okay, so that is it for the pinks today. I am thinking that I may do a little cooking demo here in another week or two. We'll see. Got to get it together and see how I want to get that set up. But in the meantime, I hope you're having a really good day, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.